Have you ever wondered why some men, even without wealth or status, effortlessly draw women toward them? What do these men have that even money can't buy? Before you answer, let me tell you something that most never realize. Women love deeply, but not always how you think. What captures their heart goes far beyond a flashy car or a heavy bank account. It's deeper, subtler, and ironically, it's rooted in the ancient teachings of Stoicism, a philosophy built not on seduction, but on self-mastery. Stick around till the end of this video, because what I'm about to share could change your love life forever. If you've ever been confused by what women truly want, this is the clarity you've been waiting for. Also, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. This channel is all about helping you build a stronger, calmer, and more attractive version of yourself, all through Stoic wisdom. Let's begin. Let me take you back to a story from ancient Rome. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic emperor, once stood quietly before a battlefield. A messenger arrived in haste. Your advisors are waiting. The people are angry. They demand answers. Marcus didn't flinch. He didn't bark orders. He didn't even speak. Instead, he calmly finished tying the strap on his sandal, stood and said, "Let them wait." A ruler who rushes to please is no ruler at all. That calm confidence, that unshakable inner stillness, that's the first thing women love more than money. Absolutely. Here's an expanded, 100-word version of the first point: emotional control, written in a storytelling, human-centered, and engaging style to keep viewers hooked and emotionally invested. Point number 1, emotional control, the hidden superpower. Women crave. Let me ask you something real. Have you ever loved someone so deeply that their silence felt louder than a scream? Have you ever been in a moment where you were so hurt, so confused, that you almost texted them something? Not from your heart, but from your wound? If you're nodding right now, I get it. Because maybe, just maybe, you've been there, in love, and at the same time lost in your own emotions. Now listen closely. There was once a man. Let's call him Arav. Arav was deeply in love with a girl named Sarah. She wasn't just beautiful. She was everything, kind, fiery, full of life. They would talk for hours, laugh till it hurt, even sit in silence and feel closer than words could describe. But like most stories, something changed. One day, Sarah pulled away. She grew cold, distant, short replies. No more late-night calls. And Arav? He lost control. He texted, called, begged, questioned. "Are you okay? Did I do something wrong? Please just talk to me." And with every message, every emotional outburst, he watched her drift further and further away. But here's the twist. Sarah didn't leave because he was too emotional. She left because he lost control of himself. He stopped being the calm, confident man she first fell for, and became someone ruled by anxiety and fear. You see, in Stoic philosophy, emotional control isn't about being emotionless. It's about having the strength to feel without falling apart. Women, whether they admit it or not, are deeply drawn to men who can hold space, not just for them, but for themselves. Think about your own love life. Have you ever pushed someone away by trying too hard to hold on? Have you ever let your fear of losing them turn you into someone you weren't proud of? If so, you're not alone. But here's the good news. Emotional control is something you can build, like a muscle. When a woman sees that you can remain calm when things get chaotic, when you don't lash out during an argument, or spiral when she's having a bad day, when you can pause, breathe, and respond with clarity, she doesn't just respect you more, she trusts you more. And in love, trust is everything. You become her anchor, not because you're trying to fix her or impress her, but because your peace is genuine. It comes from within. So let me ask you this. What would your love life look like if you stopped reacting and started responding? What would change if instead of chasing closure or control, you chose calmness? Would that person who slipped away see you in a different light? Think about it. Because if you've ever lost someone because of emotional chaos, you can also win someone truly meaningful by becoming the kind of man who masters his emotions, not to impress her, but to honor yourself. And that is the beginning of real attraction. Point number 2, purpose-driven, living the silent magnetism she feels, but can't explain. Let me ask you something personal. Have you ever been so wrapped up in someone that you forgot who you were? Like you stopped doing the things you used to love? Stopped chasing your goals, just so you could be more available, more present for them? If you've been there, you're not alone. A lot of us have, especially when we fall hard. There was a guy named Zion, an artist at heart. He used to wake up every morning before sunrise to paint. It wasn't about selling his work. It wasn't about Instagram likes. It was just peace. His soul breathed through that canvas. Then he met her, Aisha. She was electric, funny, spontaneous, charming. Zion was hooked. At first, Aisha loved how passionate he was about painting. She'd sit beside him sipping tea, admiring his strokes. But slowly, Zion began waking up later, skipping his studio sessions. One day she said, "You don't paint anymore, why?" And Zion said, "I don't want to miss time with you." Sounds romantic, right? But within weeks, she started to pull away. Her energy shifted. Her text came slower, until she said the words no man wants to hear. "You're not the same anymore." And here's the truth that hit him like a train. She fell for the man with purpose, and left the one who lost it. Because women aren't drawn to the man who lives for them. They're drawn to the man who lives for something bigger. Let that sink in. Stoicism teaches us that a man's primary duty is to live according to nature, to live with reason, focus, and purpose. You don't need to have your entire life figured out, but you do need to be on a path, because a man without direction will cling to distractions, including people, just to fill the void. Let me ask you something right now. What were you passionate about before love entered your life? What dreams did you put on hold? What fire have you let flicker out, just to fit into someone else's world? If you lost someone recently, and you're still hurting, maybe part of that pain isn't just from losing them. Maybe it's from losing you. But here's the beauty of Stoicism. You don't chase people. You chase your highest self, and let the right people be drawn to that. When a man is walking his path with confidence, whether he's writing, lifting, building, leading, women feel that. It's not flashy. It's not loud, but it's magnetic. So if you want to be truly irresistible, start showing up for your purpose again, not to impress her, but to remember who you are. Because nothing, and I mean nothing, is more attractive than a man who knows where he's going and keeps walking, even when no one's watching. Point number 3, self-respect over validation, the quiet power that makes her see you differently. Let me hit you with a raw, uncomfortable question. Have you ever found yourself begging for someone's attention while they barely noticed you? You kept checking your phone for that one reply. You changed your opinions just to agree with them. Laughed a little too hard at their jokes, just hoping they'd like you more. Yeah, that isn't love. That's performance. That's validation chasing. And let me tell you a story. There was a guy named Rayan, humble, kind-hearted, the type who'd give you the shirt off his back. He fell hard for a girl named Nimra. At first things were good. She liked him, or at least she was curious. But here's where Rayan fell into the trap most good guys do. He started twisting himself into someone he thought she wanted. She said she liked confident guys, so he started acting cocky. She liked a certain music artist, so he pretended he loved them too. Even when she canceled on him last minute or ignored his messages for days, he'd reply with a smile. "It's okay, I understand." But inside, he was shrinking. He was trading his self-respect for scraps of her attention. And what happened next? She lost interest. Not because Rayan wasn't good enough, but because he didn't respect himself enough. Here's the truth most men need to hear. A woman will never respect a man who doesn't respect himself first. Stoicism teaches us that we don't seek external approval, we seek inner alignment. You don't live by bending to what others think. You live by your own principles. When a man values himself and truly values who he is, flaws and all, he doesn't beg. He doesn't chase. He doesn't send a second "did you see my message" text. He simply walks with dignity, with boundaries. Let me ask you this. How many times have you lowered your standards just to keep someone in your life? How many times have you stayed quiet when you should have spoken up, just to avoid rocking the boat? But did it work? Did that validation buy you love? Or did it cost you yourself? See, women, deep down, are drawn to men who hold their ground, not in an arrogant, ego-driven way, but in a quiet, unshakable way. The kind that says, "I'd love to have you in my life, but I don't need you to feel whole." That energy, that's rare, that's powerful. Because when a woman sees that your peace can't be bought, when she knows that you won't compromise your values just to keep her, she doesn't pull away, She leans in. She listens differently. She sees you, not as another guy trying to win her, but as a man who has already won himself. So ask yourself today, do you want her attention, or do you want your self-respect back? Because the moment you choose you, everything begins to change. Point number 4. The power of presence, the unspoken language of deep connection. Let me ask you something powerful. Have you ever sat next to someone you loved, physically right there, but still felt miles apart? Like their body was with you, but their mind was somewhere else? Scrolling, distracted, absent? Now flip the question. Have you ever been that person? With someone who truly cared about you, but your heart was busy chasing ghosts, overthinking, or checking your phone? This is where most men lose the love they're desperately trying to hold on to, not by saying the wrong thing, not by making a big mistake, but by simply not being fully there. Let me take you into the story of Hamza. Hamza was ambitious, the kind of guy always working on something, goals, business ideas, planning the future. He was dating Meher, a woman who didn't ask for luxury, drama, or perfection. All she ever really wanted was to feel seen, heard, understood. One evening, they sat together at a small rooftop cafe. The view was perfect, the weather gentle. But while Meher talked about her day, the stress she faced, the emotions she didn't have the words for, Hamza was nodding. But his eyes kept darting to his phone. He wasn't listening. He was just waiting for her to stop talking. And right there, in that beautiful silence under the stars, she emotionally checked out. Not because he didn't love her, but because he wasn't present. And presence, my friend, is love's oxygen. Stoicism teaches us to be here, now, to silence the noise in our mind, to stop running after what's next and fully embrace what's in front of us. When a man is truly present, women feel it. It's in the way he listens without interrupting. It's in the way he notices the tremble in her voice when she says, "I'm fine." It's in the way he puts his phone down, locks eyes, and gives her his undivided soul, even if just for a few minutes. You don't need to be rich to offer presence. You don't need to be poetic. You just need to care enough to slow down. So let me ask you, when was the last time you truly sat with someone? No distractions, no rushing, just presence? When was the last time you made someone feel like they were the only person in the world for those few minutes? Because that kind of presence, it's rare, it's powerful. And women don't just love it, they remember it. Not every woman will say it out loud. But when a man can make her feel truly seen, he becomes unforgettable. So if you want deeper connection, if you want love that actually lasts, start by doing the hardest, simplest thing of all. Put your mind where your body is. Be fully there, and let her heart feel the difference. Point number 5, unapologetic. Standards, why she respects the man who doesn't flinch. Let me ask you a bold question. Have you ever tolerated things you knew weren't okay, just to keep someone in your life? You let her cancel last minute again. You laughed off the disrespect. You said, "It's fine," when deep down, it wasn't. Now ask yourself this. Did that ever earn you more love? Or did it just cost you more of yourself? Let me tell you a story about a man named Imran. Imran was a good guy, maybe too good. He finally started dating Sarah, the woman he'd been crazy about for months. She was smart, beautiful, and had a wild energy that pulled people in. In the beginning, he was himself, clear about what he liked, what he believed in, and what he wouldn't tolerate. But then Sarah started pushing boundaries. She'd talk to her ex and say, "Don't be insecure." She'd post flirtatious photos and say, "It's just confidence." She'd make plans and then bail at the last second, always with a charming excuse. And every time, Imran swallowed his voice. He didn't want to seem controlling. He didn't want to ruin the vibe. So he kept compromising, until one day she said the one thing that shattered him. "You've changed. You don't seem like a man anymore." That hit deep, because it was true. He had lost his standard, the very thing that made him a man in the first place. Stoicism teaches us not just to endure, but to stand firm. A Stoic man isn't loud, aggressive, or controlling. He's calm but unshakable. He knows what he values, and he does not apologize for it. Listen closely. Women test men not to manipulate them, but to find their edges, to see where you draw the line. And if you don't draw one, she won't feel safe with you, emotionally or spiritually. Because if you can't protect your own peace, how will you ever protect hers? Ask yourself, what are your non-negotiables in love and respect in life? Are you living by them, or are you constantly bending just to stay liked? Unapologetic standards don't mean you're rude. They mean you're grounded. A woman may not always agree with your standards, but she will always respect them if you hold them with quiet strength. The man with standards doesn't chase, he chooses. He doesn't settle, he aligns. And that alignment, that's where love becomes real. So let me leave you with this. If she's testing your boundaries, it's not always a red flag. Sometimes it's just a question dressed as behavior. She's silently asking, do you actually mean what you say? Or are you just saying it to impress me? Be the man whose yes means yes, whose no means no, and who would rather walk alone than betray himself just to be loved. That kind of man? He doesn't just attract love, he commands it. Point number 6, a calm ambition, the silent drive that makes her believe in you. Let me ask you a question most men never really answer honestly. Do you want to be successful, or do you just want to look successful? Do you chase the image, the car, the watch, the lifestyle? Or do you quietly build, brick by brick, while nobody claps for you? Because here's something most guys don't realize. Women don't fall in love with loud ambition. They fall for the man who moves like he knows where he's going, without needing to announce it. Let me tell you the story of Daniel. Daniel didn't have much. He wasn't flashy. He didn't post motivational quotes online. He didn't give long speeches about making it one day. But he woke up early. He worked, he stayed focused. No excuses, no noise, no drama. He met Alina at a small family gathering. She was used to guys who bragged about their cars, flexed their salaries, and tried too hard to impress. But something about Daniel was different. He didn't try to prove himself. He asked real questions. He listened. And when she asked, "What do you do?" he said calmly, "I'm building something. It's not big yet, but it will be. I'm not rushing." No sparkly words, no big promises. Just quiet fire, calm ambition. And that right there, it pulled her in, not because he had everything figured out, but because he was grounded in something real, something rare. You see, Stoicism isn't about being emotionless. It's about being centered. A Stoic man doesn't panic when life gets chaotic. He doesn't flex when he's winning, and he doesn't beg when he's losing. He just keeps moving forward, one silent, powerful step at a time. That energy, that's magnetic, because it makes a woman feel safe. It tells her, this man won't crumble under pressure. He won't lose himself in chaos. He's building something, and I want to be a part of it. So ask yourself right now, do you have goals that guide your actions, or just dreams that sit in your mind? Do you grind in silence, or do you seek applause before the job is done? A woman doesn't need you to be rich. She needs to see that you're going somewhere, that your life is driven by purpose, not pressure, that you're not addicted to the spotlight, because you're already lit from within. A man with calm ambition doesn't say, "Look at me." He says, "Let's build something real together, or I'll build it alone." That unshakable vibe, that grounded confidence, is not something you wear, it's something you become. And when you become that man, you don't chase love, love finds you. So now you know, women don't secretly love money. They love the man who knows who he is. The man who's grounded, present, purposeful, who doesn't need to be loud, because his presence already speaks volumes. A man who lives by Stoic values, who leads with calm, commands with stillness, and loves with clarity. And if even one of these truths hit home today, then maybe, just maybe, this wasn't just a video. Maybe it was a mirror, a reflection of who you were meant to become. So now the question is yours. Will you keep living like every other man, or will you step into the kind of masculinity that quietly changes everything? If you're ready to keep building that life, the Stoic life, then don't just disappear into another video. Hit that subscribe button and join a tribe of men becoming stronger, wiser, and more grounded every single week. Like this video if it spoke to something real inside you, and drop a comment below. Which of these 6 traits do you want to master first? This channel isn't about pretending to be perfect. It's about showing up every day, a little more aware, a little more aligned, a little more stoic. So if that's your path, welcome home. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time, stay grounded, live with reason, walk with power. This is the Stoic life.